Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to September the 22nd, Friday, September the 22nd, 2023, on the planet Earth, and to Harmonize2Energize. My name is Terry Matthews. It's been my joy and pleasure to share aspects of JIN SHIN JYUTSU and nowadays looking more at other modalities that have overlapping connections. And I share this for about an hour or so every Friday. If you're completely brand new to JIN SHIN JYUTSU, JIN SHIN JYUTSU is an art of harmonizing life energy as it moves through our bodies. And in JIN SHIN JYUTSU, it moves via energy pathways which are controlled by what we call safety energy locks and what acupuncturists call points. In JIN SHIN JYUTSU, there's 26 of them, left and right of the center spine, 3 in each arm. And they all have descriptions which cover part of their actions and part of the movement of that energy as it goes through our bodies, or not. I say or not because our lifestyle can prevent the congruent movement of that energy, our thoughts, our words, and our deeds, basically. And so with JIN SHIN JYUTSU, it's an art to harmonize those incongruences. And we do that by placing palms, back of our hands, fingers, thumbs on these safety energy locks, these 26 safety energy locks. And they're roughly the size, diameter of your unique palm, not mine. And if you placed, your hand here, for instance, there's safety energy lock 22 here, that's the palm of my hand. And once those connections are made, the energy will then move. There's a whole artistry called directionality, which I'm not skilled enough to explain here, but moving the direction of the fingers and the palms can affect how that energy moves. But for the most part, when Mary Burmeister, who brought JIN SHIN JYUTSU to the West, learned from her teacher, Jiro Murai, he had mathematically worked out how, regardless of what direction you place the hands in, the energy will move through those organ function energy pathways, as we call them, or meridians, as the acupuncturist. So you don't have to worry too much about directionality, although I think it is fascinating and I think it is very useful, very practical in certain situations with the art of JIN SHIN JYUTSU. And, artistry is going to form part of how I'm going to move toward my understanding of how we can receive the energy field of the JIN SHIN JYUTSU Kanji. And the Kanji, for those of you who are completely brand new again, is the 3 symbols which represent the words JIN SHIN JYUTSU. Hold on, here we go. I'm going to rue the day I put a waiting room on, I can tell you. Anyway, I'm going to share the screen and I'm going to show you a kanji. He says, here it is. Here is a graphic symbol, a calligraphic symbol. And for those of you that have an artistic background or just interested, could you mute yourself, please? And if you like ancient art, I say that sparingly. I was brought up in England in a city called Canterbury, and the head of the Church of England finds himself in Canterbury Cathedral, and down in the cloisters they have these most beautiful books of calligraphic writing in the European form of calligraphy, which that was part of. The monks not only drew symbols, not like this, because obviously this is Asian, but just lettering, just alphabets and just sentences. But they also had images to one side, and they would be highly embossed, highly colorful. And I used to be enchanted by it, to be quite honest. And there was a point before I actually went to art college, which is what I did do, where I seriously considered studying alongside a stained glass window artist, because for Canterbury Cathedral, they have specialist artists who work to repair the stained glass, and masons to do the stonemason work. You don't go to art college to learn that. You learn on the job, and you go to some evening classes at a local technical college. Anyway, I was so enchanted by the calligraphy. I thought, how can I do this? And then someone said to me, well, you know, you could go and study graphic design, and once they teach you lettering, you could go off at a tangent and then study it yourself. But anyway, long story short, I did go and study graphic design, but I got caught up with images rather than lettering, which is interesting. But I still have a love for calligraphy. So the Japanese inherited calligraphy, if you like, from the Chinese and the Koreans, apparently. And these three glyphs or symbols here represent... Hello, could you mute yourself? Represent the words JIN SHIN JYUTSU, and they are translated as: JIN is a person, human, of awareness and compassion, or knowing and compassion. Shin is the creator. It comes, I think, from Shen, which also is from the Chinese. And I think there's also a Hebrew interpretation, Shem. And they all mean the same thing, the creator. In the understanding of where we might be talking in the JIN SHIN JYUTSU terminology, you could say that it's the ultimate creator, the ninth depth, or you could say it's the source, what we call the eighth depth. Anyway, that's the symbol for that. And then below that is the symbol for jutsu, which means art. Now, you can see the spelling is J-Y-U-T-S-U. Well, it is actually pronounced jutsu, but it's actually, the Japanese pronounce it as jutsu, but we actually say it as jitsu. So it's in fact JIN SHIN JYUTSU. And I don't know, until at least I studied a little bit with Sadaki Kato, that many of the instructors look at the kanji. And one of the first things that Sadaki did, Sadaki Kato, by the way, was the son of the only other main student of Jiro Murai, who learnt in Japan alongside Mary, who learnt JIN SHIN JYUTSU. And Sadaki is his son. And Sadaki teaches throughout the world, not so much at the moment, although I heard recently he is teaching again. But when he came to Scottsdale, he taught his father's books, Haruki Kato's books, but he began by showing us how to scribe the kanji. And it's actually interesting, because the way he did it, from my knowledge, is a very original, traditional Chinese way of doing it. Whereas what I'm going to look at alongside the JIN SHIN JYUTSU perspective is what a Dr. Shah has developed, which is a more like flowing connection of all the symbols, like a oneness. So bear with me, humor me. This is the first time I've actually taught this, but it's a particular love of mine. So let's see what we can see. All right, so Let's go back. Yeah. I want that to go down and go out of the way. Can you go out of the way, please? The white won't go out of the way. Interesting. Okay. What if I put that up there? It's a little bit clearer. Earlier when I did this, I got all that stuff out of the way, but for some reason it's not allowing me to do that. But okay, can you all basically see the kanji here? You can all basically see it. Yeah. And in JIN SHIN JYUTSU, as we study the energy at the unmanifest level, one way of understanding that is through numerology. And numerology is just like machine coding computers. You know, it's the underlying essence of the program. It's the code. And when you look at the letters JIN, SHIN, and JYUTSU, JIN, when you add up each letter, and that's done in order of the number relationship in the alphabet, 26 letters in the alphabet, and then you find what J number is, what I number is, and N. And in this case, it adds up to number 6. And then with SHIN, numerologically, it adds up to the number 5. And JYUTSU adds up to 8. Those 3 numbers added together come to 19, which when you reduce it down comes to a 10, and then when you reduce it down further, it comes to a 1. And earlier, Anya was talking about holding the ones, and so was Jackie for about a year. It's interesting to me, at least, how the kanji, when you represent it as the underlying field based on numerology, comes to a 1. And the 1 is a prime mover. It's moving energy from the top to the bottom, from your head to your feet, and from your feet back to your head. And in JIN SHIN JYUTSU, of course, we have all the definitions on the safety energy lock charts. The prime mover connecting the extreme height with the extreme depth. So straight away, we've got a major principle of JIN SHIN JYUTSU incorporated in the kanji. Energy moving down the front and up the back. Now, I don't know whether Jiro Murai, when he decided to call this art JIN SHIN JYUTSU, knew that. I suspect he did, because being a scientist and a mathematician, he probably worked it out in his way. But there it is. And then when you separate each part of the kanji, the JIN, the SHIN, and the JYUTSU, the JIN adding up to 6. 6 represents balance and discrimination. SHIN, 5, regeneration, putting off the old and putting on the new. And then JYUTSU, rhythm, strength, and peace, which is 8. All great positive qualities. Now, I thought about how would you embody all those qualities. Now, you could just do hold the ones, and we will, for 9 breaths. The number 9 in JIN SHIN JYUTSU means end of a cycle, beginning of a new. You could just do that and you've covered everything. Head to toe, toe to head, yeah? Or you could segment each part and do an exercise of breathing in the quality of JIN. Breathing out what you don't want, breathing in the quality of JIN 9 times. And that quality of JIN is that 6, balance and discrimination. And then Shin, breathing out what you don't need and breathing in what you do need, that quality of safety energy lock. Number 5, regeneration, putting off the old, bringing in the new. And then same with Jutsu, breathing out what you don't need and breathing in the quality of rhythm, strength, and peace, safety energy lock 8. Are you all with me at this point? Are you all following along? Because what we're going to do now is the first approach that I've thought of. JIN SHIN JYUTSU is an art. This is my bit of artistry. We're going to do 4 sets of 9 breaths, and a breath in JIN SHIN JYUTSU, if you are new, is one breath is an exhale followed by an inhale, and we exhale down the front of the body, head to toe, toe to head. Sorry, head to toe on the exhale and toe to head on the inhale, just like that prime mover, just like safety energy lock number 1. And we're going to do 9 of those, holding or something that will represent safety energy lock number 6. And those of you that have Self-Help Book 2 will know that Mary shows you can receive the energy of safety energy lock number 6 by holding the 15s. 1 and a 5 equals a 6, right? Because the 6 is actually the center of the foot. And to actually do that, for most people, unless you're very flexible, it's actually trickier. So what we're going to do is, what I'm going to suggest, is that we hold our 15s, and the 15s are in the groin area. All right, so you can place your hands, palms up like that in your groin area. And we'll do that for 9 breaths. And you can look at the kanji, but look, maybe narrow your eyes, look at the JIN part of the kanji as you do this exercise. All right? So we'll begin and we'll do the 9 breaths, looking at the JIN and receiving that balance and discrimination quality of safety energy lock number 6 through the 15s. So connect to the 15s, look at the JIN, breathe out. And as you're breathing out, you're exhaling from safety energy lock 4, which is the occiput, back of the head, through the 15s, there in the groin, down all the way to the feet, to the big toe. And then as you inhale, as you receive the energy of JIN, you're receiving it up the back of the body. Here we go 9 times. Exhale. Look at the JIN. Receive. Just receive that energy field, the quality of JIN, the balance and discrimination. 8 more times. Here we go. Releasing in order to receive. As you're releasing, shoulders dropping, relaxing and receiving the energy field of the quality of JIN through number 6, balance and discrimination, via safety energy lock 15. Sometimes the energy from these kanjis, I find, can be very intense, and so you might just find your eyes closing. That's fine. The energy is coming in through the skin. And you're receiving that energy of the person of awareness and compassion in a balanced and discriminating way, which may bring you joy and laughter. There's a thought. And as you reach the 9th exhalation, inhalation, just pause and observe how and where you are feeling, if you are feeling anything, maybe what you are feeling. Person of awareness and compassion, a JIN individual. Okay, the second part of the kanji, Shin, the creator. We can leave our hands, if you have your hands in your groin, where they are, because again, in Safety Self-Help Book 2, Safety Energy Lot 5 can be connected to through the 15s. Energy comes up through the feet, via the 5 into the groin area. So that regeneration quality of Shin, of the creator, putting off the old, bringing in the new. Have a look at the kanji, narrow your eyes if it helps you block out the other elements. Breathe out from head to toe. And breathe in the Shin quality via safety energy lock number. Quality of safety energy lock number 5 through safety energy lock 15. Nine times. Inhale that quality, receive that quality, see how it feels. This is the regeneration aspect of the creator. Don't worry if you've lost count. I frequently lose count. Just experience the energy field of the shin. And when you've reached what you feel was your 9th exhalation inhalation, again, just pause and observe. See how you feel, where you feel, what you feel. Regeneration, putting off the old, bringing in the new. Maybe you felt nothing. Doesn't matter. You're in the energy field, and it's percolating through and around you, whether you're aware of it or not. So the third part of the kanji, third segment, jutsu, 8, safety energy lock, 8, rhythm, peace, and strength. Funnily enough, the 8 can be held, as per Self-Help Book 2, by sitting on the 25s, which is your sit bones, or holding your 2s. And for those of you that are experienced JIN SHIN practitioners will suddenly realize, hey, we're doing 15 and now we're doing 25. Isn't that down the front and up the back? Yes, it is. Here we go on the 25s. Have a look at the segment Jutsu of the kanji, if you can. Breathe out, head to toe. Receive the rhythm, strength, and peace. Woo. Please remember to mute yourself. And when you've reached the 9th exhalation, inhalation, just pause again and observe what you're experiencing, that part of the kanji's energy field. Of course, you're experiencing all of it, but you're just focusing on a section of it. All those qualities are within the kanji. So we said that when we reduced those numbers further, added them up, It came to a 19, Sept energy lock. 19, which also comes to a 10, which can also be held by the high 19, but then are finally reduced to safety energy lock 1, which is prime mover down the front, up the back, from the extreme height to the extreme depth, and from the extreme depth to the extreme height. So we're into oneness all of a sudden. This Kanji is bringing us into oneness. And Anja mentioned earlier that Mary Burmeister had actually suggested that if you held your ones for an hour a day for a year, it could change your life. I've only ever met one person that's done that. I think it did change his life, but I gather several people have. Might be interesting for those people to write testimonies. Anyway, safety energy lock 1, for those of you that don't know, is on the inside of the knee, left and right knee. And you can you mute yourself? And you can either hold it right hand to right knee, left hand to left knee, or you can cross. I suggest you cross your hands like this and hold the insides of your knees. This brings in mediation. The energy moves a lot quicker that way. And just place your fingertips, palms on those ones. And we're going to do 9 exhalation, inhalations. And this time, look at the whole Kanji. This is the oneness. Here we go. Breathing out, head to toe. And receive the breath, toe to head. The one, the prime mover. The whole point of receiving JIN SHIN JYUTSU is to move the energy. When the energy is not moving, you're stuck. So you could hold the ones all the time because it moves energy head to toe, toe to head through all the pathways. JIN SHIN JYUTSU. All right, I'm having to watch the time a little bit here because I've got a second technique I want to introduce. But as you've reached whatever level, whichever number of breaths, just pause now and look and sense how you feel. And just be aware of that. Hold that in your awareness. Just be aware of how you feel. And now, I mentioned earlier that when Siddhartha Kato came to town, the first thing he showed the group that I was with, was how to draw the Kanji, JIN SHIN JYUTSU. And I'm just showing you the map here because there's an order. Like any art, you start with one stroke and you continue to other strokes to create the Kanji. Now, this, in the end, doesn't look anything like the Kanji that you were just working with, because we're all artists, and what I can only assume happened is over the years, over a period of time, the Kanji grew differently or took on different adaptations. But I happened to find on the web the closest I could find to how Sadaki Kato showed us how to write the Kanji. Here it is. And you can notice that even though in his diagrams the strokes seem somewhat separate, the first Kanji, the Jin, the second one, the Shin, the Jitsu, there are variations on that. Some are separated, some are joined. Now, the teacher that I have studied with most recently, who's created an art form which is known as Dao calligraphy, Dr. and Master Zhigang Sha, has developed a style of calligraphy called Ibiza, which is oneness calligraphy. And we're going to enter the realm of oneness calligraphy now. And how we're going to do that, the first thing I want you to do, can you see my hand? I want you to bring your thumb together with all the fingertips of your right or your left hand, your dominant hand. Because you're going to use this to trace this Kanji. The first way we did it, we received the energy from within, the unmanifest. This time we're going from the outside to go back in. And we're connecting the 5 elements, all the different relationships that people are aware of with the fingers in JIN SHIN JYUTSU, the attitudes, the safety energy locks, the vertebrae. They're all can be harmonized in the fingers. If you don't understand that and you're new to JIN SHIN JYUTSU, the self-help books is where you begin. But for the purpose of this exercise with the Kanji, I want you to bring your fingers together with your thumb. And we're going to trace. And I actually, because this is not that straightforward, I'm going to use the laser beam. I'm going to remind myself how this goes as well. I'm going to use the laser beam to show you how to trace. Can you all see that? Yeah. Okay, start at the top. You always start on the left side with tracing calligraphy, always. Isn't that interesting? The left is the exhale. It's straight JIN SHIN JYUTSU, right? We let go before we receive. So we start on the left. And we're going to do this, and then we're going to go down. Now you can see a separation between the next 2 strokes. Ignore it. I'm just going to go up there to that stroke. And then I'm going to go down there to that stroke. How did that feel? You've just traced the quality of Jin, yeah, at number 6, from the outside in. Shin. Let's have a look at Shin, the creator. Now this one gets a little more tricky, at least the way Sadaki showed us how to do it. Let's see what we can do with this. Get your fingers together, start there on the left, go round, go down, Then go here, cross here, bridge here. Let me do that again. From here, round, bridge here, go all the way round, cross, up and down. Here we go. Shin, quality of 5, regeneration, putting off the old, bringing the new. Jutsu, here we go. Now this is a fun one. Starting to the left, go down, go up, connect there, go across. Connect there, go down, connect here. Then you go back up and you connect here, 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 and here. It's kind of tricky. With calligraphy, certainly this Ibiza movement, you find your own rhythm. You find that which flows for you. I'm going to stop there for a moment, pause there for a moment. I don't expect you all to have got it completely right. How does that feel? You had your fingers and you were tracing. Do the first one, the JIN, a few times. Make the connection a few times. Then go to Shin. Make that connection. Now, there's going to be some of you there going, oh, he does it differently each time. And there's going to be some of you saying, I don't get it. It doesn't flow for me. It's okay. Just go with your individual flow. This is an experiment. See how it feels. Then go to Jitsu. Go down. You are becoming the artist using somebody else's art form. Am I making sense? You will eventually find you're following a pattern. All right, how does that feel? What are we doing for time? Yeah, look, I actually mapped out how I did it.
Hi, Karen. I have looked everywhere on the website and Zoom, but I don't see anything
Can you
about
mute yourself?
recycle tomorrow. So I don't know
Can you
if
mute
it's
yourself?
canceled or
Okay. How was that for you folks? Thoughts, comments, feedback? Anyone? Or have you all gone into oneness? Tom, got anything to say? Oh, Janet, here we go.
You'll see some changes in your patient invoice.
Can you mute yourself, please?
We all work through this transition together.
Janet, did you actually want to say something?
I thought that was really amazing. You could feel what was going on in your body while you were concentrating on your hand. And it was bigger than just going through the motions. That was really something. More time on that. I'm sure it's going to develop into something more.
Yeah, like I said, oh, yeah. The book is called Tao Calligraphy by Dr. and Master Shah. If you want to find out the roots of how he developed it, I'm going to put that in the chat. It's source calligraphy. He's working from the outside to bring from within. How did you feel? I know Mary would say no competing and no comparing, but did you feel any different from the first way you did it, using the principles of JIN SHIN JYUTSU more with the breath, than when you did it with Dr. Shah's method? Anyone got any comments on that? Was there a difference in the quality? Okay, Anya, here you go. Unmute.
It's yes, I thought the second way, following the handwriting, which is not my handwriting, at the beginning it was very stressful, somehow stressful, and then when you encouraged us to find your own rhythm and path and breath within this, it was really like very deep, and for me somehow deeper, perhaps because I'm so used to this focused and concentrated exhales and exhales and inhales during my JIN SHIN JYUTSU time, but this finding my rhythm and pace in this movement of the hand, that was very deep. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. You know, Dr. Shah also teaches how to do that with Tai Chi. Basically, you use those of you that have done Tai Chi, you will use your lower dantian, your golden ball, the energy field just beneath your belly button here, and you literally trace the shape of the calligraphy. Now, why is he doing that? Well, those of you that may have studied a little bit more of Asian medical theory may know that dead opposite the belly button is the dantian, and that is apparently understood to be where the whole universal Tao energy enters our body. Now, in JIN SHIN JYUTSU, they talk about seventh depth light coming in down the front and going down through the 15, which we worked with in the first rendition of the Kanji. And I said once to David Burmeister, why wouldn't the energy go from the back and the front? And he said, you know, that's interesting. Yeah, why wouldn't the fire energy come in through the back? Because that's the the inhale, through the back into the spine and up. No one discussed that any further with me. I was about to offer it as a discussion in the main central, and then the main central is no more. So that was that. But I want you to consider that energy doesn't just come in through the front. It can actually come in through the back. As it's going down the front and up the back, it's moving through those spinal centers, which some of us call the chakras. Dr. Shah calls them soul houses, by the way. So, humor me. I'm playing here. I hope I'm being artistic. Mary said, be the artist with JIN SHIN JYUTSU. So that's what I was sharing with you today. My way, I've not heard this done. Perhaps other people have experimented. I don't know. I haven't personally met anyone who has. It was an experiment that I wanted to share with you because I was always curious why Jiro Morai chose the words JIN SHIN JYUTSU and what did they mean numerologically. And, you know, in the early days, I never really... Well, I connected to what Wayne and Carlos and Petra Elmendorf would talk about with astrology and numerology, but for me, it was just feeling the energy. But as time has gone on, I've understood this machine code of numerology, so that helped me look at the quality of energy in the different segments of the Kanji. So thank you all for sharing with me. I hope you shared with me. And anyone who's got any further feedback, I think I saw a comment about someone wanting to know the arrows that I put up. Someone did. Oh, Nancy, you felt you knew the directionality of each symbol to trace it before you told us. Perfect. I don't know anyone that's done the directionality on the Kanji. I've just experimented myself. Whatever worked for you is for you. If there becomes a set way of doing the movement, I'll let you know. But please experiment yourself because it's your energy field and it's JIN SHIN JYUTSU entering your energy field, not mine, yours. You're a unique wave, I understand, I believe, on the ocean of consciousness. You're a creative, ever-expanding breath of life. Be that. Become that. Enjoy that. Open those 15s to allow that energy to go down the front and those 25s to go up the back. 11 and 15, 11 and 25. You could have held 11 and 15, by the way, for JIN and SHIN, and then 11 and 25 for JYUTSU. You could have done that. Or you could have just done the ones. So, has anyone got any last minute questions or anything? I hope I haven't confused anybody. However, confusion is good. Breathe through it. Let it go. Lynn, what did you want to say? Unmute yourself, Lynn.
You briefly showed a slide with the arrows, and then you never showed it again.
Yeah,
So
that's just how I saw the flow. It was deliberate that I didn't show it for too long because I know artistically people will change it. I wanted everybody to experiment. I gave you some guidance. I didn't originally want to give you any guidance at all. I wanted you just to hold your fingers and play.
I was curious because when I got down to the jitsu, I wasn't sure which direction or where I was to go for the next.
That's your mind. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. It was very interesting.
Come from here. Come from the art of compassion. Go with the flow. Ibiza calligraphy by Dr. Shah is oneness calligraphy. He does it like this. To watch him, it's like a dance. He's dancing on the ocean. And, you know, calligraphers that I have watched with their brush, that's what it is, a sweep. They sweep through. So anyway, again, thank you. Lynn, if it helps you, I'll email you that direction thing that I did. But if it doesn't work for you, don't be surprised.
Be curious. Yes, thank you.
Because it's
your interpretation.
exactly. It's not Dr. Shah's, it's not Mary's, it's not Jiro's, it's so me, myself, I. Okay, folks, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day. Next week, it's going to be on a Thursday because I have a mystery instructor who couldn't make Friday. And it's going to take the format of a Q&A or an A&Q. I will be co-hosting with Lisa Gritton. Lisa, are you on? Didn't see you. Yeah. Anyway, Lisa Gritton from San Diego, JIN SHIN JYUTSU organizer, and I will be interviewing an instructor. It'll be an opportunity for us to parry with her, give her some questions. It's a her, that's a giveaway. And also for you to ask some questions. And I'm also going to suggest to both Lisa and the instructor that they give you some self-help in between, a little breather, because it can get a little bit heady when there's all the questions of why do you think this and why did Mary say that? More and more as I practice the art of JIN SHIN JYUTSU, the art of compassionate, art of the creator through a compassionate and knowing human, that's the goal, that's the vision. The less I think about it, and I think it's the truth of all art, you go from here to here, and it flows. So thank you, everyone. Good to see you all. I'll have a quick look at the gallery, actually, before I see who is here. Okay. Anya, Jackie, Nancy, Shilpa, Joe, Ellie, Shani, Anna, Lynn. Janet, I know you're there. Ted, I can see you've written up there. Anna, Yvonne, Rhoda. You don't know who WI is. And Diana. All right, Monica. Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, by the way, thank you everyone who's been generously giving love offerings for these sessions. I appreciate it. If I don't always say it live, I certainly reply to you all. Thank you very much. I definitely appreciate it. And I look forward to next Thursday, if you can all make it. It'll be the same 2 o'clock New York time, just a different day. And we'll have this Q&A. So if you want to think about any questions that you want to ask an instructor, don't have too many because Lisa and I are going to be spending some time receiving the wisdom from the instructor, prodding the instructor, prodding and poking them to bring out what we feel we would, like the audience to hear. And then we'll give you guys some time to say, hey, what about this? All right. Okay, folks, so I'm going to stop recording and